Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about the step number two. Step number two in healing your daddy issues or healing your father wound. So, the second step is to accept that it's not your fault that your father is absent. Accepting that your dad's absent is not your fault can be challenging, but it is a crucial step towards your healing. And here are some suggestions to help with this process. The first thing is to understand that there are external factors that may be contributing to your dad's absence. Um, and these are often circumstances that are beyond your control. These may include things like his own personal struggles, circumstances such as parents splitting up and disputes over, you know, childcare or disputes over parental responsibility. Sometimes the mother's the one that's got the parental responsibility, and dad may be restricted in terms of his access to yourself. He may have another family that make it difficult for him to see you. It's not an excuse, but a lot of the time there might be circumstances that are beyond your control, and it's not your fault per se that he's not in your life, but there may be these other external circumstances that make it difficult. And it's important to remember that decisions that are made are often unrelated to you as a person. So remembering this is crucial to helping you to start to heal that father wound. The second thing is to understand that adults are responsible for their own choices and action. So your dad's decision to be absent is his own responsibility, and it doesn't reflect on your self worth as a person. So again, children sometimes don't have the ability to realize that you know it's not their fault that their dad is not there. They may tie this into their own sense of self worth. So they might think dad doesn't love me, or I'm not lovable. There must be something wrong with me, or, his other kids are much more important than I am. So there may be all sorts of emotions tied to, whatever decisions that he's made, which we may then take and internalize. So understanding that it's his responsibility and it's not your responsibility that he's not in your life is quite crucial. The third thing is to try and seek perspective. So talk to people you trust, such as friends, family members, a therapist. Share your feelings, gain different perspectives on the situation, and allow others to provide support, insights that may help you see the situation more objectively. Okay. Sometimes people get stuck in their head and they form these sort of beliefs, which then affect their self esteem and how they feel about themselves. Just being able to bounce off what your thoughts and feelings, off of somebody else can just help you to kind of just get a whole different perspective on the matter. The fourth thing to try and do as part of accepting that it's not your fault is to challenge your negative thoughts. Now, pay attention to any negative thoughts or beliefs you may have about yourself in relation to your dad's absence. Challenge these thoughts by asking yourself if they are based on evidence and whether they are helping or hindering your well being. So, as I mentioned before, people may start to form thoughts and beliefs such as I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not that important to him, his other kids are important to me, his other life is important than I am. And these kinds of negative thoughts and beliefs may really start to sort of erode at our sense of, well being. They start to erode our identity and how we feel about ourselves and the world in general. And people may even go as far as concluding, you know, that they'll never be in a relationship, they're not going to be able to trust anyone because people always leave. And I know people who have, refused to get married and form long term relationships because of this fear of abandonment. Because there's that sense of belief that if my dad couldn't stick around, if my dad left, then men can never be trusted, men always leave. So have a look at what sort of beliefs you hold, what sort of thoughts you hold, question those thoughts, challenge those thoughts, especially if they're not based on evidence. This is something that will be very, very helpful in terms of helping you to just improve your own sense of well-being as well. The fifth thing is to really focus on self-love. Cultivate self-love, self-compassion. Remind yourself that you are not defined by your dad's choices and you deserve love and understanding. Treat yourself with kindness and nurture a positive self-image. Okay. Um, the next thing really that will help is to explore your feelings. Allow yourself to explore and express your feelings about your dad's absence. Sometimes there's a sense of shame. Some kids might see their friends having their fathers. You might grow up seeing other people have their dads and you haven't got yours. And that might start to foster in some people a sense of shame, something that they don't talk about, something that they don't verbalize. It's okay to talk about how you feel. It's okay to allow yourself to express and to explore those feelings, talking about your dad's absence. And if you have to talk about it with your mother, for instance, there are some people that feel ashamed to even discuss how they feel with their own mother regarding their dad's absence. This is an important process of the healing. And one other helpful thing that you can do is to journal your feelings. Write them down in a journal. Talk to a trusted friend. Seek professional therapy. There's just so many ways that you can engage in to be able to process those emotions. And the final thing is really just to kind of set realistic expectations. Realize that healing takes time. You know, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, particularly where you start the healing process later on in life. It's going to take time. The progress may be slow. You may find that you take 10 steps and then, forward and then take 20 steps backwards. But be kind and be patient with yourself, okay? Progress may come in small steps. So set realistic expectations for yourself and be patient with yourself as you navigate through the complexities of your own emotions. And then build yourself a good support system. Surround yourself with a supportive network of friends, family, or a support group who can offer encouragement and understanding. Sharing your experiences can help you feel less isolated and more affirmed. Okay? Remember, most importantly, that your worth as an individual is not determined by your father's actions. Accepting that his absence is not your fault is a very significant step toward your emotional healing and well-being and your personal growth. Okay. If you find the process overwhelming, consider seeking the guidance of a mental health professional. I keep saying this: a coach, a therapist, a psychologist, and they can give you a more sort of tailored approach to how you can start to get healing from your father wound. I hope you found this helpful.